No, I think they do it.
All rise, voulez-vous le ver? The International Residual Mechanism for Criminal Tribunals is now in session. L'audience du mécanisme international appelé à exercer les fonctions résiduelles des tribunaux pénaux est ouverte. Please be seated.
Good morning. Registrar, could you call the case, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. This is case number MICT-15-96A, the prosecutor versus Jovica Stanišić and Franco Simatović. Thank you, Your Honor.
I thank you very much. To everyone, a small apology for starting late. It was due to some technical problems we encountered, which made it impossible to start on time. Everyone was here. Now they have been solved, as far as I'm told, and we can therefore proceed. So, I note that Mr. Stanišić and Mr. Simatović and counsel for Mr. Stanišić are participating via video conference link pursuant to Rule 69, Paragraph C, Subparagraph 2. Now, let's go for the appearances of the parties. Counsel for Mr. Stanišić. I'm not hearing him.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Mine, Wayne Jordash. I'm appearing for Mr. Stanišić, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Mr. Stanišić, can you follow the proceedings in a language that you can understand?
Did you hear something?
I repeat the question. I am addressing Mr. Stanišić. Can you follow the proceedings in a language that you can understand?
Yes. No? Yes.
Yes.
You may sit down. Counsel for Mr. Simatović.
Dobar dan, časni sude.
Good morning, Your Honor. Vladimir Petrović, representing Franco Simatović.
Thank you, Mr. Petrović. Mr. Simatović, can you follow the proceedings in a language that you can understand?
Da, časni sude.
Yes, Your Honor.
Prosecution appearances.
Good morning, Your Honor. For the prosecution, Senior Appeals Counsel Laurel Beg, Barbara Goy, our case manager Janet Stewart, and myself, Rafael Braga da Silva.
Thank you very much. Today's status conference was scheduled by an order signed by me on the 7th of March of this year, and is taking place within the 120 days of the last status conference, which was, as you remember, held on the 16th of December of last year. Let me reiterate that under Rule 69B, the primary purpose of a status conference in the appeal phase is to allow a person in custody pending appeal an opportunity to raise issues in relation thereto, including his mental and physical condition. I will begin today's hearing with a brief overview of procedural updates, and then I will turn to both Mr. Stanišić and Mr. Simatović to see if there are any issues they would like to raise within the scope of Rule 69B. The prosecution may, of course, make remarks thereafter. Turning to recent procedural developments or history, the briefing of the appeals in this case has concluded. The parties filed their respondents' brief on 31st January 2022 and their reply briefs on 15th February of 2022. Matters pending before the appeals chamber include motions seeking the admission of additional evidence on appeal. One was filed by Mr. Stanišić on 8 December of last year, and another one by the prosecution on 17th of March of this year. A briefing in respect of these motions is in progress. Now I come to the Rule 69B submissions. We will hear first from Mr. Stanišić and Mr. Simatović through the council if they so wish. Please let me know if at any time any one of you or either of you would like to go into a closed or private session. I'll start with you, Mr. Stanišić. Do you have any issues related to your detention conditions, health, or any other matters relevant to this status conference?
I've got nothing to raise on behalf of Mr. Stanišić today. As far as we are aware, everything is proceeding as it should be in terms of medical treatment. Mr. Stanišić, as you will be aware, has a number of issues, but they are being treated as far as we are concerned appropriately. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jordash. Mr. Stanišić, you've heard your counsel speak to me. Do you wish to add anything?
I agree with what has been said so far. During the past 4 months, there was no change in my health. I'm receiving the appropriate therapy, and I'm being supported by the management of the DU.
I turn to Mr. Simatović now. Mr. Simatović, do you have any issues related to your detention conditions, health, or any other matter relevant to this status conference? Yes, I recognize Mr. Petrović.
Your Honor, speaking on behalf of Mr. Simatović, I can inform you that there are no special issues related to his health or the conditions in the detention unit that should be raised today. Thank you.
Mr. Simatović, you would have heard your counsel address the court. Do you have anything else you would like to add?
Your Honor, I have nothing else to add. I fully agree with the statement given by my attorney.
Thank you very much, Mr. Simatović. I turn to the prosecution. Are there any remarks, comments?
Good morning, Your Honour. Just one matter in relation to the scheduling of the appeals hearing. we would appreciate notice as early as possible, even an indication whether the hearing would take place before or after the judicial recess would be very helpful for our planning. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I can assure you that will be the case. Any further remarks on this section? I hear none. So I can see Mr. Jordash trying to address me, but I can't hear you, Mr. Jordash.
Your Honour, I just wanted to. Can you hear me now, Your Honour?
Yeah, I can hear you now, yeah.
Oh, thank you. I just wanted to clarify the last point that's been made when you say the hearing will take place before the judicial recess. Could I just confirm when that judicial recess would be?
Then there must have been a misunderstanding. What I said was never meant to convey the message that the hearing will take place before the judicial hearing. What I said was that you can rest assured that we will communicate the date of the hearing well in advance so that you will be prepared for it. But when it's going to take place, I haven't got a clue at the moment. I mean, it's being discussed, obviously, and but I cannot say anything in a definitive manner for the time being.
Thank you, and yeah, that's clear.
Thank you. Any further comments? No. So I thank the registrar and all the staff for facilitating this status conference, and I thank everyone for their participation. This status conference is now adjourned.
All rise, voulez-vous lever?